You are not going to believe what just happened because this may very well go down as the most shocking and impactful NFL trade of the year. If not the last several seasons, yes, you heard it right, this just happened. The deal is done, it's official. Trey Hendrickson, the elite pass rusher who has terrorized quarterbacks for years, is now a Dallas Cowboy, and the NFL landscape just shifted in a major way. This is not a drill. This is not smoke. This is not a rumor floating around Reddit or whispered by insiders on podcasts. This is real. This is a blockbuster, and it is going to shake up the NFC and possibly change the entire playoff picture moving forward, especially if you're a Cowboys fan, because this move signals something loud and clear. Dallas is going all in. No more playing safe. No more hesitating. No more waiting for the future. They want to win now. They are taking their shot, and they just added one of the most dangerous, relentless, and consistent defensive ends in T-ball to a defense that was already stacked with talent, and it's going to make the Cowboys a nightmare for every offensive coordinator they face from this point on. And let me tell you, this is the kind of trade that makes headlines not just because of the names involved but because of the timing, the stakes, and what it means for the team making the move. In this case, the Dallas Cowboys have sent a shockwave through the league, and let's take a second to understand just how massive this is. Trey Hendrickson is not your average pass rusher. He is not a one-hit wonder or a guy who benefited from a system or a contract year miracle. No. This is a player who has consistently performed at a Pro Bowl level year after year, who has racked up sacks, QB pressures, forced fumbles, and has a motor that just does not quit. He is the kind of guy who makes an impact on every single snap, whether he gets to the quarterback or not, and that kind of presence on the edge is rare, it's valuable, and no. It belongs to Dallas, a team that already has Micah Parsons wreaking havoc from all over the field, and when you combine those two on the same defense, backed by a secondary that includes playmakers like Trevon Diggs and Darren Bland, you're looking at a unit that has the potential to be not just great but legendary, a defense that can suffocate offenses, take over games, and carry this team deep into the postseason, maybe even to a Super Bowl. And yes, one said it, Super Bowl, because that is the level of impact this move can have if all goes according to plan. And look, we all know the Cowboys have had a history of hyped-up seasons, strong starts, and heartbreaking playoff exits, but this feels different. This feels like the front office is tired of that cycle, tired of watching other teams make the big moves and take the big swings while Dallas tries to build slowly and steadily. This is aggressive, this is bold, and this is how championship teams are built. You identify your weakness. You find the missing piece, and you go get it, and that's exactly what they've done here. The trade reportedly involves multiple draft picks, possibly a first-rounder and a mid-round pick, plus maybe a rotational defensive lineman, which on paper might seem like a lot, but when you're getting a player of Hendrickson's caliber, who can give you double-digit sacks and disrupt entire game plans, that price becomes worth it real fast, especially when you consider where Dallas is as a team right now. They're not rebuilding, they're not experimenting, they are in win-now mode with a franchise quarterback in Dak Prescott who has something to prove, an offense loaded with talent like CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard, Brandon Cooks, and Jake Ferguson, and now a defense that might be the most feared in the NFC. And don't underestimate the psychological effect this has as well, because when you make a move like this, you energize the locker room, you send a message to every player on that roster that management believes in this group, that they're not just hoping for success but doing whatever it takes to achieve it, and that kind of belief can do wonders for team morale and chemistry. And you better believe the guys in that locker room are fired up right now, especially players on the defensive side who know that Hendrickson's arrival means more one-on-one matchups, more chaos, and more chances to make game-changing plays. And speaking of chaos, imagine being an offensive coordinator trying to game plan against this Dallas front. You've already got Micah Parsons to worry about, who moves around the formation like a chess piece and can attack from anywhere. And now you've got to deal with Hendrickson coming off the opposite edge with speed, power, and precision. And if that wasn't enough, DeMarcus Lawrence still exists, a veteran leader who can collapse pockets from the interior or outside, plus young guys like Osa Odighizuwa and Mozzie Smith adding depth and push from the middle. It's a nightmare scenario. especially for teams with shaky offensive lines, and in a conference where you're going to face quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, Matthew Stafford, and even emerging guys like Jordan Love. Having a pass rush that can get home without blitzing is invaluable. It changes the way your defense plays, it lets you drop more guys into coverage, it increases your turnover potential, and it shortens the time your secondary has to cover downfield, which is great news when they got ballhawks like Diggs lurking back there. And I haven't even mentioned what this does for the Cowboys' identity, because let's face it, for a long time people have questioned whether Dallas was serious about contending or just riding on legacy and hype. But this move shows they're serious, they're not afraid to take risks, and they're not going to waste the opportunity they have with this current roster window. And let's not overlook the fact that Hendrickson brings more than just talent. He brings leadership, intensity, and postseason experience, having been to big games with Cincinnati, having played under pressure, and knowing what it takes to perform when the stakes are highest, and that's going to be invaluable come January when every play matters, every drive is magnified, and your stars need to shine, and Hendrickson has shown he can do that, and now he'll do it wearing the star on his helmet, and I don't care who you root for, you have to respect a front office that goes out and gets their guy. That makes the bold move instead of sitting on their hands and waiting for someone else to do it. And Cowboys fans, this is the kind of move you've been begging for. The kind of power play that says we're done talking, we're done hoping, we're done being a meme, it's time to win. And when you look at the big picture, you realize how big a gamble this is, but also how much bigger the potential reward is, because if Hendrickson stays healthy, if he fits in well with Quinn's system, and if the chemistry builds fast, you've got a Super Bowl caliber defense that can carry you through tough games, through cold weather matchups, through NFC gauntlets, and give you a real shot at ending that decades-long drought. And yes, I know, Cowboys fans have heard this before, they've been burned before, but this time it feels like the moves are matching the mindset, like the pieces are truly aligning, and all that's left now is to execute, to perform, to live up to the hype. And if they do, if they manage to pull it off, if this trade is the piece that finally puts them over the top, then you better believe this moment, this day, this trade will be remembered as the turning point, the moment when it all changed. And even if it doesn't work out perfectly, even if it's not a Super Bowl this year, the message remains the same: Dallas is swinging big, they're playing to win, and the rest of the league has been put on notice. They didn't wait, they didn't hesitate, they made it happen, and now the rest of the league has to respond. If you're an Eagles fan, a Niners fan, a Lions fan, you've got to be thinking, okay, now what? Because Dallas just upped the ante. They just moved their chips to the center of the table. This is high-stakes football. This is championship-caliber aggression. And it's about time. Cowboys Nation, enjoy this moment. Celebrate it, because this is one of those moves that changes everything. And for the rest of the NFL, watch out. Trey Hendrickson is coming, and he's coming with a star on his helmet.